So we hosted the repast at the house and packed dinners and sent it on the bus back to Virginia with the wife and the family down the
This is Arthur Ashe.
Wow. And Reginald Lewis' daughters came in separate cars to the funeral. The funeral was at Riverside Church again, and the repast was at the house again. It's on the bottom of the program that they passed out in the church for the repast.
Wow, that's
and Alex English, Jonathan Hicks and them was standing in the bedroom eating because the whole house was full of brothers.
Yeah.
So nowhere else to eat but in bedrooms and in hallways. So you have brothers living standing. Music, please, one more time. That were really, interacting and doing stuff.
That's amazing. Arthur Ashe and Reginald Lewis.
Reginald Lewis.
Because see, they were praying
That's
with Jonathan
insane.
Hicks.
Yeah.
So when we had the black and white formal for New York alumni, we honored Arthur Ashe that year I came in '87. So I had just been a new 6 weeks.
Excuse me, sir. What for the world? What fraternity?
Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated.
Incorporated.
Noble.
Pretty boy.
Right.
Their
name is Hart.
Yes.
From Indiana University.
Indiana? Yes, sir.
So now, they had just honored him at a black and white event at Astoria Manor in Queens.
Yes, sir.
So, presenting awards and stuff, they started hashing out ideas to have the foundation. That's when Jonathan, Reginald Lewis, Wayne Brown from CBS, that died from the brain thing. They started trying to say that the brothers was dying from the cell phone brain damage. That was part of that. Those were the three very integral parts of the foundation that Jonathan created for Kappa Alpha Psi Scholarship Foundation. Those were the three boys. So now they had to do meetings. I'm doing Cornish hens. I'm doing stuff fillet of soul. And they come in and have food at the house.
Yes.
My house on Riverside Drive to discuss raising money.
Yeah.
So that's how I got to be in that element. Then when Joe Green died, that was the winter I became a new. So I'd never been around. I was terrified when we walked in the church. I'd never seen that many out of town and Kappa cars in one place. So when the brothers were putting canes, and at that time we had the lucite diamonds. Brothers was putting all that in the caskets. They came up there greeting him and falling out and breaking down and putting all kind of scrolls and all kind of paraphernalia in the actual casket.
Yes,
then because he was so active with the college, the whole college choir came and sang. And sang at the repast the night before because they couldn't be there at the main funeral during the daytime. And to hear Emmett and them from DC speak about him. Emmett was the main speaker that day.
Okay.
It was crazy. And that's when I finally seen that if you got 300 and something brothers and you got 3 rows of family, who in the funeral that we in here mourning? Because they over there and we over here and we done took up the whole church. And it was just that heavy. And he was the master of the step. Of Kappa Alpha Psi period. Founder. And so that's when Zulu got into it. And he was the little one at that time coming up under Joe Green.
Yes, sir.
And then you had Magic. Magic had See, Magic had a paddle in his house that was almost 7 feet tall.
Wow.
With the diamonds on it. So I would be the designated driver to get Adewumi, Sidney Williams and Lorenzo Hodge and them up to New Falls, Binghamton that way.
Okay.
Because I didn't drink and I was trying to fetch Kappa. So I had to do all the stuff. And they'd make me stay at the house. I couldn't go to the party. So I just looked at paraphernalia all night, terrified because it was so big and there's so much stuff in there. I thought it would kill me up there. I didn't know where I was at. So, I mean,
That's how it was.
and then on Sundays, I'd have to cook chicken, turkey, what do you call it? Drumettes.
Yes, sir.
For the brothers to watch the football game.
Yes.
And this was all pre-hate, pre-stuff before I became a Kappa up in Lambda Z in '87.
Training. You was a Duke
Yeah.
training.
Yeah, so
As we all had to experience.
I've been doing cakes. And so I wanted to go to meet one of the brothers at the Harlem week. And I made a cake in the shape of a paddle with the hand doing this. And they'd never seen a cake in the shape of anything. At that time, people didn't have fondant. You had to cut a cake out. You had to airbrush. You had to paint on with icing to do faces. Now we got edible images. We got all this new technical stuff that's a mold. Now you can do an ice carve, but I carved with a chainsaw. I carved the shields out.
Yes.
I put one in that picture with a chainsaw and chisels right on the spot.
And didn't you share with me that you used to do ice sculptures for the Obamas?
I did the word Obama for DC, for New York when they won the Democratic nomination.
Wow.
All blue and white.
Wow.
Then when he won in DC, and we took the Cake team down there, we in the same hotel with Aretha Franklin, Desmond Tutu, and Bloomberg, because we was in the DC Hilton. It was like Who y'all? Who you guys? How y'all clear security? There's 7 of y'all. Who brought y'all here? I said, this is the Cake team. I'm CakeMan, and we were coming for Hillary. But remember, Hillary didn't make it.
Yeah.
So we had already been gonna come because of the Democratic Hillary nominee in New York.
Yes.
You know, gun ho. And then after Obama came up and he became the leader and won the Democratic nomination, we went on his side.
Yes.
So now we there in the mainstream.
Yes.
So that's how we even got involved in that whole thing. And I got the invitation upstairs, the whole nine. So we did Obama out of red, white, and blue ice. Nobody had red, white, and blue or colored ice across the Mason-Dixon, meaning across Maryland. So we had to bring that red and blue ice blocks from Long Island all the way to D.C.
Wow.
They said if a black man ever became a president, hell would freeze over. Well, that was the coldest day in D.C. yet to this day.
Wow.
The ground was cold. So we out there trying to carve ice, 300-pound blocks of ice each letter, and it would not even break down. It would not even temper enough to carve it, so it kept cracking, so we had to put heaters on it. It lasted 3 weeks out in front of Ben Chili Bowl, and it started causing traffic jams. So they had to take it down because it would melt down.
Yeah.
So it was crazy, just that episode.
Wow, that's history right there.
Made a cake for Daddy Bush.
And the Guinness Book of World Records.
Yep. World's largest
He's been in the
cake.
Guinness Book of World Records.
I did that in the country of Qatar. The cake was 31 feet long by 26 feet wide. It was made large enough for 15,000 people downtown.
15,000 people.
And they didn't have that many people downtown in Indianapolis. So you could eat it.
How long does it take to make a cake of that size?
28 hours of just icing it. They had to hold me by my legs. They wouldn't let us bring the cherry picker across to reach me in the middle of the cake. So they had to manpower a chain to hold me in the center so I could ice it and get it, because it had to be a total structure together.
Yes.
And it was in the Aerosol Stadium in Indianapolis doing our 100th concert. And it was in the shape of a shield because it had to be a sculpted cake.
Yes.
And that was a competition. They did tallest, they did widest, they did longest.
Yes.
And we tried in Times Square for the network Bridezilla to do the tallest wedding cake. It was 25 feet tall.
Yes.
But the structure was 60%. So they disqualified it.
Well, let me ask you this. If that's cut you up, 25 feet tall, how do you make that dough rise that high? Like, what do you use? Like, what?
It was layers and structure. And
Sounds
see,
crazy.
the thing in that was, that's what I thought. I needed to just build a structure and put the cake on it.
Yes.
It was like, no, you had to have 60% cake
Wow.
and 40% structure. And I had 60% structure and 40% cake. So then we at the Indiana, we had to build a stage that was 8 inches off the ground because you still had to eat that cake. So it had to be edible and it had to be made on something that could hold it and be able to serve. So it was 8 inches off the ground.
Yep.
Then it was 12 inches off the platform. So we had to have a guy build a stage to hold that cake for the weight. And then we put the cake on top of it, which was 174 sheet cake that we put together. We made it in Brooklyn and drove cross country in a refrigerated truck to Indiana.
Wow.
Now, that's the 25 feet one?
That's the one that won the world record.
How do you
The
put that
one we
in?
made in 25 feet was made in South Carolina, my former high school. I didn't have no kitchen up here to rent. They was going to charge me $50
So how
an
did you
hour.
transport that? Because what truck could
Refrigerated
fix
truck.
that? A refrigerator truck took 25
It's in
feet?
parts, remember?
Oh, it's in park. Okay,
Right.
that makes sense. That makes
One
sense.
guy building the structure, somebody else bringing the icing, somebody else bringing the layers, then you got everybody putting it together. Now the next cake that was even bigger than that is Columbia University's 250th birthday cake.
Wow.
That was in the shape of Low Library.
Really?
And it was 12 feet by 12 feet. And the president has the picture of him having a gold shovel digging into the dome. That's how you scoop the cake out and slice it. That's how big it was.
That sounds
Yeah.
amazing. Wow.
Same night the Yankees won the pennant that year was the same night we tried to bring the cake. We had to have an 18-wheeler bring it across the campus over there at Columbia University, and they had to get a high-low to lift it off to put it and start assembling it.
You know what's so amazing? Like, the history and enrichment of these things that you share with us, like, people will be so surprised and shocked to know what goes into what makes you CakeMan Raven. And, if I'm not mistaken, your origin is South Carolina.
South Carolina. My grandma over there.
That's right. Let's get him all up.
And just this is what they put in USA Today newspaper in 1993 when they first started talking about Afrocentric wedding cake.
Yeah.
This was the, when they used to call it Iceman and CakeMan, and this is the article in USA Today from out of my living room on Riverside Drive in my business card. So that brings me now to
First Brooklyn, right?
First Brooklyn,
First
708
Brooklyn.
Booster Street.
Oh.
Was the CakeMan Raven Confectionery.
Yeah.
Then Atlantic Avenue was the warehouse, 6,000 square feet, that was called CakeMan USA. And then now I'm in Harlem, back at home.
Yes, sir.
Back in Harlem.
Back in Harlem.
CakeMan Raven Boutique.
Wow. This is dope, man.
So,
And this is all you, man. It's all you.
41 years.
Black business,
Wow,
black
black
business,
business.
black excellence.
Black
That's
excellence, man. Appreciate that.
you know, you never looking back.